Hello.
Got your sword.
You've acquired Hellbane. Excellent. Now, for your next labors, I need you to collect some items. The Bloodstone, a circlet, and the Rose of Candrian. The Bloodstone in particular must be bought. Here is some gold to do so. The circlet from the Scholia Arcana Library in Rathir, the Bloodstone from Kel's Cafety, and the Rose of Candrian from the Grave of Geradace. He is a lying, whoring, two-faced mongrel, a blight on the plains of Erethel for the better part of 20 years. Long ago, he cheated me in a game of cards, winning a gem known as the Bloodstone. I want you to get it back. Use the gold I have given you to get it back. If you can convince Kells to part with the gem for less, good. If you can't, do what you need to do. Well, if you don't have the skills to do so, take this book. Place it in the bookshelf to the left of the chest, and the chest should unlock. Let's just call it a legacy of my misspent youth, and not ask questions as to how it works. Now, go, get me that circlet. The magic of the headstone will allow the bearer of Hellbane to pull the rose from the stone as if it were alive. All right then, you'd best get going. Until later then.
I hope this counts as 3 labors. Gather the items. Alright, oh, that one's nice and close by-ish. I think sooner or later they'd learn to stop attacking. Intricate carvings of flowers and vines, incredibly lifelike in their detail, cover the headstone of Jerasorin. In particular, one rose stands apart from the rest. Okay, next one. The Tyrion's Rest.
Where would we be without Priestess Coralon?
Here we go.
Approach and await the wisdom of the fates. I am the great Kel's Cafety, sworn and scrupled servant of the Sisters of Destiny. Speak, that I may divine your future, and through my gift, bless your mortal soul. Traditionally, this sort of transaction happens under more discreet circumstances, if you understand my meaning.
I don't know what you're talking about.
There you are. I'll part with it for a hefty price. Very well.
Hey.
Practically highway robbery. I'm not in any condition to argue. Pleasure doing business, friend. I'm sure Derfel is not very fond of me. I beat him in a game of cards many years ago, fair and square. By my standards, anyway. I don't like strangers who ask a lot of questions. This town is full of old fools. Most of them will believe anything you tell them.
Okay, and what's this quest? This is
Well,
new.
a new face. Welcome to the Reedsong Inn. Come in, and Lyria light your way. If you can spare a coin for our troops in the war, well then, all the better. That I do. We all must do our part. Have you got a few coin to spare, then?
There's so much gold, it's ridiculous.
And what about them? I don't see what they're doing to fight the Fae.
Yeah, here, go ahead.
There's a good soul. Say, would you do one more favor for an olden keep? This purse is full of collections. Would you be so good as to bring it to the box in our sanctuary? I can't go myself, and there's someone I can't trust. If you want to know the truth of it, someone's been swiping from the collections. We don't know who, but I'm sure you weren't the one.
I might have been.
Lyria, bless your fate. Sanctuary's just across the bridge at the end of the walk. The box is inside. And if you happen upon the thief, and in my opinion it must take place in the darkest night, tell the priestess to white nil at once. The sanctuary's cross the bridge and down the path. The box is inside. You can't miss it. And keep your eyes sharp. A little thief has been taking from that box. Sometime in the dead of night, I imagine. Our goddess and protector, the Alfar's guiding light. It was her will we were spared the face sword 10 years back. Morella's sermons, grace and patience. But I lost a son. I'd go over there and wring every one of their evil necks. I'd come back and wring the ones on this side afterwards, for good measure. As long as you're not a sodding fae, you're most welcome here. A room in the inn? Why, you're in luck. I have one to spare. Well, if you ever do, you need but ask. I hear the conditions in Cluricon are just wretched. My own son was there, gave his life for the cause. That's why I've taken up collection. Every coin goes to those poor soldiers across the water. High Priestess Tyrion made camp right here on her sojourn to settle Rathir. It is said she was given a vision by Lyria on this very ground. Right enough.
Okay, and I've got one more. Gather the items.
Welcome to Tyrion's Rest.
Refugees aren't welcome here.
God damn it.
First, the pyramid tree. Then the shapes
nice view.
of trees and heads and hawks, made by the white caps of the waves before they crashed. Then 1,000 other wonders in my lands have faded, failed, and fallen still. All I know... I watch the last of life flow from my lap? Will I stand still as stone while the essence of its beauty drains away? No. Like Issa girding armor against Own, I, Mihari, will wrestle with the sinking sun. If that is what it takes to keep my land.
What am I going to do? I've
Nothing.
got to be going, but I can't. And I can't go back to Doveyan, but I must. The war, my friend. The war. I've been called. The truth is, I should have been gone days ago. Only I'd be far more eager for the adventure if I had my family arms with me. They're in there, Doveyan.
So go get him. The fuck is your problem?
Ancestral staff and talisman. What any self-respecting arms worn to battle since time immemorial. If I hadn't left them somewhere in that damned tower, I'd be wearing them now. I'm not supposed to be here. I ought to have shipped out days ago. That's what I've been trying to say. I need, well, want to get my family arms and slip off before anyone knows I was here. Only how? You're serious, aren't you? Well, with any luck, the old staff and talisman are still in one piece back there, though I have my doubts. I'd pay just to know if they are or not. Thing is, Doveyan's an official army post now. To get in, you'll need an officer's pass. Well, you need to get into Doveyan. For that, you'll need an officer's pass. You might steal, borrow one, or get hold of a forgery. Mooncamp might be good for that. I am the rightful heir to Doveyan, or I was at any rate. I've spent the last few years in lovely old Rathir, pretending like a fool nothing would change. It was my home. That was before I deeded it to the Althar army and went to Rathir with my pocket full of gold. It went 10 years untouched by the Tuatha foe. That's common knowledge. 10 years stuck in a cold stone prison was how I saw it. By tradition, an Arn bears staff and talisman to battle. My brother bore them in Oriator's stand and died of his wounds 3 days after. Only I left them in Doveyan when I gave it to the army. Goodness only knows where they are, or what shape they're in now. Arn family history's riddled with this cursed war. My father and brothers have done so much for the cause, I shouldn't have to lift a finger. Honestly, I feel like a hare hunted by hawks out here.
I don't like this guy.
Hurry if you can. They might find me any moment.
Life drinker. I think that's a staff, though. Oh, it's a great sword. Oh, look at that shit. That is fucking cool looking. It's like Soul Calibur. But I don't use it, so that's too bad. That makes me want to use swords. Oh, and a hammer? I think that's a hammer. Yeah. Oh, that's pretty badass looking too. Just a giant glowing hot rock. Man, just make my Fey Blades look like shit weapons.
Did you think the whole army was across the water in Chlorocan? No, I'm afraid some of us are stuck here in Dol Arn and Rathir.
She's got, like, nothing. didn't think so. Little Prince of Rathir. Oh wait, I probably needed that for the other quest. Yeah, whatever. I'm sure it's fine.
So many new faces in the market these days.
You look like you've been in some tight spots. There's a bounty out on a damn set of deserters. What do you say?
Sure.
5 full crew of fresh recruits had the gall to get fully equipped on our gold coin before they up and ran. The turntails, arms, and armor we can do without. But I'm afraid we also gave each crew a bottle of bog staunch. That's what I need recovered.
That sounds terrible.
Cure for a sickness that strikes them the moment they enter Cluricon. Devilish hard to make. We can't have fool deserters running off with any. I thought you looked the sort. The fools are run off down the coast. They'll be hiding here and there where they can, I imagine. They'll be up and down the Tawili coast, I think. Hiding where they damn well can. There are things in the air in Cluricon. It doesn't strike everyone, but some get awfully sick their first days there. Bog staunch gets them through it, so we pack a jug with every crew we send over there. A fact of life. There are cowards and lying rogues, and that's that. But when they up and run with things of value, that's another thing altogether. Haven't you been? You can feel something and you begin to rot the moment you set foot over there. At least I did. I did 5 years in Cluricon. Then I got this post back here, seeing fresh recruits trained and off to war. You're sure there are Tuatha here in Tawili? It has happened before. Maybe they'll meet some of my good-for-nothing runaways and give them a thrashing. Look at it. Scarred and singed as a blacksmith's hand. That is what you get from war.
Now, if you'll attend here, these are the papers.
Oh, I guess